Well, it is my intention to get this thing finished today. I don't see why I can't. I'll just spend more time doing it and less time videoing it. Now, the only thing I did yesterday was I took these parts off, put the trigger down, and then put the parts back on. We'll take a look at that in a moment. We have the potential for a beautiful sunrise this morning. It's coming up really nice. It's quite early, as you can see from the clock. I think I've said this before, but I don't think I've ever started this early today. Yeah, that looks really nice. Maybe I'll flash a little clip that we're seeing on the screen right now. Anyway, yeah, that's beautiful. I think it's gonna make a wonderful time lapse. Anyway, let's get on here. Actually, I have other things I wanted to do at the moment, but we'll get back to this. At the moment, our little laptop is just struggling to try and put that sunrise, about an hour and a half of it, into a video, which can later then be put into time-lapse. Now, what's happening here? Do you remember yesterday I was kind of complaining because these Phillips screws, or maybe I should say the Phillips screwdriver was not working well with these screws? Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to check and find out which one of these bits fits the best on these particular screws. We've got 4 left to do. And, it appears that we have four different sizes here if you go by what it says on the bit. However, you can't always go by that. Well, if you have 2 that are manufactured by the same company, like I do believe that this one and this one are the same, but then the next one up, it might say the same size, but if it's made by somebody else, it's not going to be the same size. On these cheap sort of things, there's no real standard, you might say. It'll be close, but anyway, that's the plan. Okay, clearly it's not going to be one of these bigger ones, but I do think it's going to be one of these ones. I'm just going to guess, and I honestly have not tried it yet. But I'm going to say that not necessarily the smallest ones will be the tightest fit. Actually, this one feels like it would have the least tendency to strip out. That's what it feels like. Let's just take this one and this one out. Well, maybe this one. This one's a nice tight fit. Yeah, that's going to be good. I'm going to have less trouble. Now, at the beginning of this episode, I'm pretty sure I remember saying something to the effect of we'll take a close look at this mechanism, because once we get it all put together, you're not going to know how this works. So it's my intent to show as we go along here. See how I can maybe use Tony's tweezers to just, okay, so you can see how this works. And the trigger, I forgot to put it on first, and you can see why. It has to go underneath this piece right here. Now this is the trigger lock. Let's see if I can show that here. Okay, so when we turn it, and it's a little hard to turn, at least like this. Okay, so when it's in the locked position like that, you can see here that this comes up so that you can't pull the trigger in. I mean, I'm never going to use that, but it's kind of unique, isn't it? Oh, it's coming apart here. I wonder if I could have put that together. No, I couldn't have got this underneath. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, attaching the shaft, step 4. Now, when I first saw these plastic gears, I thought, oh my goodness, they went and they got the flashing right on the edge of the cogs, and that's going to be kind of awkward to trim off. But then, maybe I should stick the macro lens on. Actually, I haven't tried it since I accidentally knocked it off the model table onto the floor, so it may not work. Let's just kind of anxious to see if it actually works. That happened about 15 minutes ago, actually. Okay, it still works. I kind of figured it would because it landed on the plywood, not on cement floor. But Nikon is supposed to be noted for being fairly robust. However, all right, when you look at this gear, this is our little gear C1, and if you look at it like this, and that's the way I saw it the first time, you think, oh, that's too bad. It's going to be hard to clean up. But I'm going to just turn this over here. Okay, now hopefully you can see that flashing is only, you might say, on the edge of the cog, not on the end of it. So let me get my nippers here as long as we got this running. Let's see, how am I going to hold this? Now, I think if I come in on the side like this and just take this off, we should preserve at least 95% of the cog. If I can get in there. Okay, now the other one. All right. No, which one did we do? Okay. All right, yeah, that's going to take very little, you might say, filing. So the way they were attached actually was good. Okay, I think it was attached to this one, and the two on the opposite side, which would be this one and this one. But you can see, yeah, it's going to be okay. I'm beating this to death, aren't I? Now I can't help but notice what a wonderful job this snowblower is doing. It's almost as though I can see the green grass underneath there. Just let me shut it off here. Okay, all kidding aside. Okay, all the carrots that we put out the day before yesterday, there was a few left here last night. They are completely gone. There's absolutely no remnants at all of carrots. So, and if you remember, we came out to this milk jug the last time. So now we're going to start at the milk jug and go a little further. Now I probably could have got away with just cutting up one carrot, but I cut up two. Okay. Alright, we'll see what happens. And as I keep saying, my plan is to get it out here to the bird feeder and have everything out here. Now, as near as I can tell, no birds or any, not even a squirrel, has touched our bird feeder. Okay, let's get this machine back. I found out a few minutes later when I couldn't get it started that the reason it was starting to run funny was because it was running out of gas. I've got to buy gas for this now? Okay, you'll notice it's asking us to put a little bit of grease on here in this step, but I don't think we have to do it right now. I think we can do it after we get this put together here. And this bearing, first time I saw it, I thought, oh, it's a real bearing, but it's made out of plastic, but it's really not. It's just made to look like a ball bearing. Okay. All right, that goes on here. Then this goes on here. And then we put the snap ring on. I'm probably going to have to do this off camera. It's just too awkward to try and do it. Okay, I'm just going to quickly remove our C2 and our C3 and these ones as well and get them cleaned up. I'm going to just do it the same way as I did the other one. Okay, as you can see, I've already put part of this together. It feels like it's binding on something. Well, maybe not. Now when you put a little pressure on the end here, which is what you're going to be doing. Okay. That should be alright. I guess this is what you would consider the thrust bearing. And I did put grease there. Alright, now yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay, now, do you remember this button we put in yesterday? Okay, the idea is that when you push on it, it comes up and it's supposed to lock in that hole. I'm just gonna, I realized that the gear came out, but you know, I just wanted to show how that works. And it actually works. Okay, let's get this back in place here. Okay, I do believe we've got everything in step 4. I've got everything greased. Speaking of grease, there was very, very little in that tube. To get it out, I had to squeeze. I was being so careful when I first took the cap off or cut the cap off, that it didn't get all everything, but I had to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, and I was practically using both hands, and then finally it comes out. I think to me I probably could have put just a little bit more grease in there, spent the extra half a penny. Okay, step 5. And I haven't tried it yet. I kind of know how it's supposed to go. All right. I believe that's the way it's supposed to go. It looks like everything's in the right place to me. Yeah. I think that's going to work. Okay, it doesn't say to do anything else here. No little clips or anything to put on. Let me check the instructions here. Okay, alright, I think what's supposed to happen is when we pull the trigger, it's supposed to lift this up and make contact with the bottom of one of the batteries. Or maybe the positive. No, it's the negative. Okay, so it would be the bottom of the battery. Yeah, I guess that's supposed to be loose like that. Well, what's to keep it from falling up all by itself and making contact? Well, I guess we'll see when we stick the battery in. Oh, I see. It's when this battery is in place, it's pushing it. Okay, yeah, so it's got a spring effect. All right. Well, let's just for the fun of it, pretend we've got a battery there. Get this out, the light is right. Okay, now, oh yeah, I can see where that'll work, all right. Okay, a moment ago I tried to put in a double A and I thought that looks like it's a pretty tight fit. So I took a triple A here, but you can see that this is the first time I'm trying to put this in here. Oh yeah, that's going to be alright. Now, let's just see what happens when we pull the trigger here. It's not going to run because it's not making contact, but I just want to see if that's going to come up and touch the bottom of the other battery. And, which is right here. So, should I maybe be putting the positive end in first and then shoving this down? No, I think it's supposed to go like this first. I just don't want to force anything because it is all plastic here, right? There we go. Now, theoretically, this should run. It doesn't look straight. The battery doesn't look straight. Why is that? Okay, I believe that's right now. All right, now, all being well, Now, mind you, the gears might go flying, so this might not be a good idea, but we'll see what happens. All right, let's screw it together. Yeah. Is everybody seeing now how this goes? Just for, anybody who's thinking of getting one and putting it together, and you want to know what's on the inside before you buy it, well, there you go. Because once I put the lid on, so to speak, that's going to be it. Okay, now one of the viewers did mention that when he was done, he had parts left over, and so do I. And I just spent a few minutes here going through the instruction sheet to see, was there someplace I was supposed to put a washer or another snap ring or something like that? And I've concluded that they give you extras of these in case something goes pinging off and you drop it in the carpet. That's the only thing I can think of here. Now, I imagine that when we put this together, I just want to make sure everything's just right here. And here is where we're going to find out if our screwdriver that we selected is going to work, or is it going to be maybe just a little bit too big to fit in the... No, it's going to work. Come on. There you go. I'm not going to tighten it up real tight right now because I want to check and make sure that the seams are coming together properly. And then we'll snug it up, probably off camera. Okay, now, how does that look? Okay. Everything seems to work all right. Okay, I'm just going to tighten it up off camera here. Then we'll put the battery cover on and, yeah. Yeah. All right, now let's try the larger of the chucks. Remember there was two? There was a small one and a big one. Well, let's just do the bigger one here because I want to see if it's going to. All right, now will this work? It should. Well, mind you, there's so much friction in the gear train that. Okay, now remember those little drill bits that we bought? It is my intention to be able to use those with this chuck, and use this one for the smaller bits. We'll test it out. But we don't have any more time today. So thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow. No, don't go clicking your stop button just yet. We've still got the sunrise, and it's going to run for about a minute. Maybe in the comments, let me know if you feel that this is too long. If you'd like it to run by a little faster, be a little shorter. Yeah, maybe I'm showing too much of it. Yeah, I kind of like it the way it is, but anyway, yeah, let me know.